This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 546. Treat the 100th time like the first time. And Why I Delete Negative Social Media Comments, both by Erin Blasky of erinblasky.com. It's Monday and a happy new week to you. I'm your host, Joss Marie, and I'm here from Monday through Friday to help you optimize your relationships. So be sure to hit subscribe if you'd like to be notified of the latest episodes. And to start off the week, we have 2 posts on your social connections, written by digital marketing strategist Erin Blasky. So let's dive right into Erin's posts and start optimizing your life. Treat the 100th time like the first time, by Erin Blasky of erinblasky.com. Long before I gave birth to my daughter, I remember reading something somewhere that said, "Make sure your eyes light up and all attention is on your child when she walks in the room." I loved the idea of that and made a decision to make that one of my parenting practices. Every day when Willow gets home from school, she gets out of the vehicle she's in and runs to the front step. She reaches up as high as her little arm will reach, and she rings the doorbell at least 15 times. Usually, I'm sitting on my computer in view of the door, so I lean my head over and she opens the door. At that point, I do what I always do. I drop everything and say, "Willow!" as I run to the front door to give her hugs, sit her on my knee, and take her boots or shoes off. I shower her with kisses, carry her to the couch, and we snuggle. There is magic in this interaction because it is infused with excitement, appreciation, acknowledgement, and love. All too often, we get numbed out to various experiences or sensations. When our partner makes us dinner for the 100th time, we may forget to say thank you. When we visited New York City for the 100th time, we may not appreciate the buildings and the energy as much as we did the first time. When our assistant finishes that task for the 100th time, it may pass by our desk without acknowledgement. When we begin to take that 100th time for granted, we lose the magic in the interaction. We miss the opportunity to connect, to motivate, to inspire, to love, and to be grateful. It has been shown that when people stop showing a level of appreciation or excitement around something that someone else did, the person who performed the action stops or pulls back on the effort immensely because there is no longer any form of gratification being received. Although we shouldn't necessarily look to others for our gratification, the truth is, we do, often. Having someone show us their level of pleasure, satisfaction, happiness, and so on is gratifying and is a huge motivator for why we do the things we do for others. What might happen, though, if we treated the 100th time we did anything with the same effervescence and spirit that we brought to the first time? I was talking to a friend recently about romantic relationships, and we were surmising that romantic relationships likely lose their spark over time because one or both people involved stop acknowledging the little things. When it's the 100th time that your partner puts on a nice dress and heels, it's easy to forget to stand in awe of her and tell her how beautiful she looks. However, that moment is just as appreciated and needed on the 100th time as it was the first. I'd even go as far as to say that it's more important as time passes. I want to invite you to take a look at your own life and the people in it. Where might you have an opportunity to bring your whole self to a moment instead of merely showing up and appearing less than enthused? What might you be able to do on a regular basis to make the people around you feel seen, heard, appreciated, acknowledged, loved, and thanked? Start a practice of uninhibited excitement today. Show up, soak it up, and look at your experience through fresh eyes. You won't regret it. Why I Delete Negative Social Media Comments, by Erin Blasky of erinblasky.com. Disclaimer: before you read any further, if you are a brand or business, this does not apply to you. I have much different advice for handling negative comments when you are a brand or business. This post applies only to personal profiles and social accounts. There's been much said about social media and freedom of speech and whether or not you should delete or leave up negative comments. When it comes to my social media feeds, I have zero issue deleting negative comments from my posts. I used to leave them up and stew about them for days, but now I hit delete and I move on with my day. The reason is pretty simple. I treat my personal social media accounts as an extension of my life. I show up on social media the exact same way I would show up if I were at a networking event, in my living room, or meeting you for the first time. What you see is what you get. I won't be rude or callous with you, and even when I disagree with you, I'll try to engage with you in the same way I would if we were having a face-to-face conversation. Due to this belief system, I have an expectation level that other people will also engage with me in the same way, that human decency and respect will come before vitriol. However, this is the internet and not everyone plays nicely. So when negative comments pop up, I will try to engage in a positive conversation, and when that isn't possible, I delete the comments altogether. It's no different than how I'd be in real life too. For example, if you started blasting me in a professional networking event, I'm going to walk away. If you were in my living room being callous or rude, I'd ask you to leave. Social media is an extension of my life and my values, so I do my best to create a space that honors those. Now, I'm not talking about disagreements or opposing opinions here. I am also not trying to create an echo chamber in which I only hear what I want and where no one disagrees with me. However, there's a difference between someone disagreeing and being open to a conversation versus someone who is out for blood. I know you probably know the difference too, as I'm guessing you felt it before on social media. So when someone is out for blood and they are simply looking to derail my day or kick up some dust on purpose, they don't get to hang out in my space. Just like I wouldn't invite someone negative into my living room, I avoid it on my social spaces too, for the betterment of my mental health and for the people who hang out in my community. If I don't feel safe, how can the people who do wish to engage with me feel safe enough to leave a comment or engage in a healthy conversation? My rule is this: if it makes me or anyone else on my post feel downright awful, I delete it. If it doesn't add any value whatsoever to the conversation and was only added for shock value, I delete it. If someone is starting a whole other side tangent to stir up drama and it has nothing to do with the original post, I delete it. Once it's deleted, I then evaluate that person and ask myself why they are in my network. By signing up on these platforms, you didn't hand over the right for others to treat you however they want. It's your space, so make sure it feels like it. You just listened to the post titled, "Treat the 100th time like the first time," and "Why I Delete Negative Social Media Comments," both by Erin Blasky of erinblasky.com. Thank you so much to Erin for these short but impactful posts. And with that, let's go ahead and wrap up today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow with a post from Evan Mark Katz, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.